have made it to the social outing. I'm here. I did forget to bring a towel, but that's okay because I don't know if I actually plan on like fully getting in.
Get ready, because this is year 6 of daily vlogging.
So I didn't realize that was the first vlog clip of the day. Sorry. I'm home now. Hanging out was fun. It was good. On my way home, I decided to stop and get some lunch because it was like 2:30 and I was like, okay, I'll get some lunch. So I stopped by Panda Express, and for probably only the second or third time that this has happened, my rice was like tasted burnt. You know, have you ever done that? Or have you ever had fried rice that's like that, where it smells, that's the thing, it doesn't smell off, it doesn't smell like it's bad, but it smells like it was overcooked enough to where you can taste it, but you can't like see it. You know, like the rice kernels aren't like burnt to a crisp, but it very much had like that burnt taste. So didn't eat any of the rice. The chicken was good, a little bit spicier than I remember, like more spices. And since I'm just not great with spicy things, that's why I think I noticed it. But it was good. And then I go to eat my fortune cookie. There's no fortune in the fortune cookie. So I've never been to that Panda Express before, the one that's close to me now, and needless to say, I don't think I will be going back. So the one thing is, like, I usually would, Panda Express is not someplace that I go a whole ton, but I really like Orange Chicken, and they are, and it's because they're a fast food place, they are, because my tolerance for spice is nothing, it's the only place that I can get orange chicken that's like I can actually eat, because other orange chicken, even when it's not supposed to be spicy, like it's either just like the texture is off or whatever. So lo and behold, but since it's also a fast food restaurant, there's stuff like that that's prone to happen where like the rice is overcooked and whatever. So that's disappointing. I didn't use my bank account, thankfully. I used my one of my Carry-On rewards cards, but still, I was like, really? Anyway, I have about an hour and 45 minutes or so until work. So I'm gonna sit here and chill. And I think Kendall is gonna call me to say hey and tell me a bit about college so far. So I'm looking forward to talking to her. So I'm working and I walk over, I'm on my last post and it's a We Asked Our Readers, which I love, but I walk over to get something out of my pantry and I see out the window, out of the corner of my eye, I'm like, what is that? And I realize, I guess the woman who lives at the end of the street, I did not know that she had any kids. I haven't gotten a chance to talk to her, so it doesn't matter. But I look over and I was like, what do I see? It's 3 girls sitting on top of a Jeep, sitting in the driveway. What? Now they're getting back off? What is happening? I just was like, it's what more just, I didn't comprehend what I was seeing, and so it just threw me off for a second, because I was like, oh, what is happening? So I will admit that I just looked up, so when I was at the pool today, I pulled out the book that I have, which is Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. Now, here's the thing. The girl told me, just like in passing, she was like, I started reading that book, but I didn't finish it. And I was like, that's interesting. Because to me, I mean, of course, everyone has different tastes. But I was like, the Raven Cycle was so good. Like, I was not able to, like, put down the Raven Cycle. Hi, Nola. And so I went to Goodreads to look up their reviews. And they're not awful, but it's at, like, 3.5, which, let me look up Raven Cycle, because now I'm curious to see how they compare. So yeah, the Raven Boys, the first book in the Raven Cycle series, is at 4.05 stars, which is a lot for Goodreads. Hi Nola, I love you. I will sit and read in a second. Don't bite me. Anyway, so needless to say, some of the reviews, I was reading a bit of them to not like get spoilers, but I don't know if I'm actually going to enjoy the book, which is going to be such a bummer. Then again, I think this was actually her first. I think this was her first series, to be honest with you. I'm trying to find the publication page. Does not want to work. There we go. Yeah, 2009. So this might have been her first. So, I mean, it does have 3 books, but if it already sold with like a 3-book deal to begin with, then... Anyway, hang on. Now I gotta find how many stars this actually has. So I guess Shiver has 3.76. So that's really not a huge difference. However, the difference is that the first reviews that you see for the Raven Boys are like 4 stars and 5 stars with like 1 2-star review. The one for Shiver, nothing is above 3. So, we'll see. I'm going to sit here and probably read the first chapter or so. It's 10 p.m. I've got church tomorrow morning, so I don't want to stay up super late, but I do want to start reading it. Who knows, I may figure out what, and honestly, I read the back of it and I was like, not typically the story that I would read, but I wanted to read it because it's Maggie Stiefvater and I like the other things of hers that I've read. But this might prove to be the exception. I am 25 pages into this book. Can I read this section to you just real quick? So this is a human. She's a human, and when she was whatever age, I don't know, 10, I have no clue. There were like wolves that dragged her and then almost ate her, and then one of the wolves like stopped it, and then he's like watched her for like 6 years, and they've like watched each other. Anyway, then there's this other wolf that shows up, and it says, I stared back at her, then without thinking, I lifted my teeth into a snarl. The growl that escaped from me surprised both me and her. You are a human. Oh, like, how does that sound? It's trying to be Twilight, in a way, is what it's trying to be. It's 110%. That is what, it was made in 2009. That's exactly what this is going after. I think it's written better than Twilight, but it just, she keeps calling him like my wolf. I'm like, it's a what? Like, you don't even realize it's a werewolf until literally right now. Like, call it my wolf. Like, I gave it 52 pages. It's just not. Right, here's the thing. These stories are not my go-to, but I reread Twilight. Did I keep the Twilight books? No. But I admit that they were better than I expected they were going to be. That's why I read all 4, because had I really, really been disliking them, I would not have kept reading them. Even if I was like, I really want to reread them. If I wasn't enjoying them, I wouldn't have kept doing it. With this being in a similar vein, I would have pushed through if it was actually a good story. But like, it's not. I also just flipped to a random page, and I guess, spoiler if you ever want to read it, I don't really know how it ends up happening. She ends up becoming one, or she is one. I don't freaking know. It's not good, which is such a bummer. Such a bummer, because that's one book from Alex Bracken that, you know, the sequel of that one that I didn't end up finishing. And then now I like the other, which I did end up looking it up, by the way. This was published in 2009. The first book of the Raven Cycle series was published in 2012. And the Scorpio Races, which she wrote before the Raven Cycle, was 2011. And I really enjoyed that book. So here's my theory. So the last 2 Twilight books were published in 2008 and 2009, or 2007 and 2008. I think 2008 and 2009. I think Maggie was sort of coerced in whatever way, shape, or form into writing this type of story because Twilight was selling very well at the time. That is why it feels so incredibly different from her other books, and it just doesn't sound... Maggie, I love the Raven Cycle for how and Scorpio Races. It is written, her writing is so different than any other writer. She has her very own unique voice. This is not that. She had not developed her voice, it hadn't developed, or she was not able to put her voice into this series because of what was selling well at the time. That is my theory. So, yeah. I hate that I'm just going to be getting rid of 3 more books on my bookshelves. I hate that I could only make it through 52 pages, but I just don't have the time. I'm getting to be with books like how I am when I'm casting stuff for auditions. I will watch the first 10 seconds of an audition and I will know if I need to continue watching or if that person is not right for the role. Sometimes it's as little as 5 seconds of the actual audition, not the slate, but the actual audition. I'm getting to be that way with books. All right. Well, after returning to the random book generator or random number generator, it landed on Harry Potter. And I was originally going to be like, you know what, let me pick one more number. And the number it landed on was literally just a few numbers down. So it was a different series. It was the A to Z mystery series. But I was like, we're going to go with Harry Potter. And so I looked and I was like, oh, didn't I just read those again like last year though? No, I actually haven't read them since 2020. So, and late 2020, I believe. So probably right around 2 years ago. So I figure, and I was even saying about how maybe reading another series to like a series or a book that I'd already read just because I've had just a few unfortunates in a row, to maybe get me back into like the excitement of reading, right? So now my question is I don't know, because what it actually landed on was one of the illustrated editions. And I have 4 of the 4 illustrated editions that are out, I have. So the first one through the 4th one. So I may choose to actually read the illustrated editions of those 4 and then go to the other books. Because the illustrated editions are just gorgeous. And I feel like I immediately just jump to the normal books, but you know, if I'm taking the book somewhere with me, then maybe I'll swap over to the smaller one, but you know, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, so here we go. I'm heading to bed, so thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Social media is in the description. Love you all.